Hi everyone! Welcome to our YouTube channel Research Ready and Student Matters Hub by Doc Lin. Bago tayo mag-start ng ating lesson video, may I request everyone to please like, share, and subscribe our YouTube channel so that marami pang matulungan yung ating research video. Okay? So now, ang ating pag-aaralan o ang aking i-discuss ay tungkol sa yung pinaka-well-known topic ngayon sa academe at ito yung tinatawag nating AI or Artificial Intelligence. So, mga researchers, I know that most of you, if not all of you, are using AI or Artificial Intelligence, especially in doing your research in many aspects. So, regardless kung anong AI platform yung ginagamit natin. May it be ChatGPT, which is very common na ginagamit ng mga estudyante kapag sila ay nagre-research. So, ang tanong, ma'am, pwede po ba kaming gumamit ng AI sa aming research? Okay. So, kung ako yung tatanungin, as a researcher and as a research instructor as well, hindi ko ini-encourage, but for me, pwedeng gumamit ang estudyante ng AI when they are doing their research. However, there are limitations in using AI, and that's what we're going to discuss. And some schools, like big schools in the Philippines, I would not like to mention, but I have read articles about it, that the Board of Trustees or the Board of Regents of their own schools have already approved the use of AI as an academic support and as research support. So in other words, quote unquote, there is the word support. So AI will not be the ghostwriter of your paper. So when we said ghostwriter, hindi siya yung magsusulat ng papel natin. Hindi tayo magde-depend sa kanya. Pero pwede natin gawin ay humingi tayo ng tulong sa kanya in so many ways. When you want to make your research instrument, when you want to have an advanced knowledge or advanced reading of a certain topic, you can talk to AI. You can ask AI, okay? But it does not necessarily mean but what as AI had been said, ay yun yung tama. Kasi ang unang magiging tama dyan at makakaalam ng tama ay tayo bilang isang researcher. And we don't copy-paste the work of AI. We read what the AI had been given or had suggested, pero tayo pa rin yung magde-decide. Tama kaya yung sinabi niya or hindi? O tama ba yung sinabi niya or hindi? You can also use AI in making your research instrument. But as I have mentioned, you can ask but you cannot copy-paste. Okay? So why am I saying na po pwede naman? Kasi I have read so many articles, published articles, and I have also visited so many websites of publication. They are not prohibiting the use of AI as long as there is an explanation on how you use it. So sa loob ng papel mo, paano mo ginamit si AI at kailangan mong i-assure na hindi si AI ang gumawa ng iyong research paper. That there is no such findings or results that has been affected because you have utilized an AI. So you have to assure that inside your paper. Ako rin, I am encouraging that, and I'm going to tell my students to do that if they are using AI, that they have to reflect it in their methodology. So as I have mentioned, hindi ako personally, I am not prohibiting my students because hindi ko naman po pwedeng sabihin na huwag silang gumamit ay hindi rin naman sila gagamit. So ang kailangan, on my part as a research instructor and as a researcher as well, kailangan ko i-guide yung estudyante kung paano nila gagamitin yung AI. Just to tell you, I have now a research which all talks about the use of AI or the AI technology as an academic and a research support, and that will be policy on how AI can be used as to its limitations and the extent of its utilization. Pero dito muna sa lesson video na ito, ang pag-uusapan natin, ano ba yung mga maitutulong sa atin ni AI at ano yung po pwedeng maging limitations.
In 2025, AI is everywhere.
from writing outlines to generating citations to be specific in research. But, my dear students, when it comes to your thesis, the question is AI helping you or hurting you? Some students treat AI as a time-saving partner, while others, medyo natatrap sila dun sa over-dependence, which results to risking academic integrity and critical thinking. In this lesson video, we will dive into the real impact of an AI on thesis writing. Let's discuss the good, the bad, and the unexpected. Let's all find out, is AI your best friend or your worst enemy in research? How AI helps your thesis. So these are the things that we are going to discuss. But let's focus first with the help of AI in your thesis. But disclaimer, I'm not saying as a researcher and a teacher that the use of AI should be prohibited or should not be encouraged among my students. I myself, I'm giving them tips on how to use AI, but I'm always saying that they do not have to be over dependent on AI. Most schools today are encouraging the use of AI. However, they have their safety net. In other words, they have their policies on how AI should be utilized by students. Okay? Because there are also claims that some well-known schools in the Philippines are having a great number of Latin honors because of the AI era. Okay? Now, I am going to discuss with you in what sense does AI help you in your thesis and in what sense it become your worst enemy. So these are the common AI tools in doing research. So you are all very familiar with ChatGPT. It helps generate topic ideas, outlines. It can also help you to make your research questions. And you can also ask ChatGPT to simulate mock interviews or give sample introductions. We cannot deny the fact that this is a powerful AI assistant that can help throughout the various stages of your thesis writing, from brainstorming to defense preparation. So nakakatulong siya kasi po pwede siyang matanong nyo tungkol sa topic generation. So I want to emphasize that what am I discussing is AI as an academic support, not AI as the writer. You can use AI, ChatGPT for topic generation because it can suggest relevant and timely research topics based on your field of interest. Just have to know how to make your prompt. It can also help you to make your research question, specifically making smart research question. It can also help you outline. Pwede siya kasing mag-generate ng structure, ng proposal, ng paper, or thesis chapter depende sa gusto ng gumagamit. It can also help in mock defense. It can simulate panel questions based on your study. So, pwede mo ma-practice kung paano ka magre-respond. And lastly, it can help you write a clear introduction, synthesize your literature, and explain concepts simply. So in other words, on the early stages of your research, natutulungan ka niya mag-organize ng idea. Tsaka napapractice niya yung communication mo. Okay? Second, yung illicit.org, this is also a site wherein it is specially made for researchers. Nakakatulong siya para makakita mo yung mga academic papers, tapos masummarize mo din siya based dun sa query nung gumagamit. Papaano ba nakakatulong itong illicit.org? This can help us in a smart literature search. You can ask question no to this site such what are the effects of social media on student motivation, and what illicit.org will do will retrieve and summarize key points from academic papers. So very easy.
Yung months na ginagawa dati ng isang researcher para mabasa ang napakaraming literature ay pwede niyang gawin ngayon. Okay? It can also synthesize his research. It summarizes what different papers say about the same concept. Oh, on the paper relevance, it can help you assess whether a paper supports your research goals or not. It can also be a method finder. Kung hindi ka sigurado kung anong methodology ang gagamitin mo, pwede siyang mag-suggest sa'yo na similar dun sa mga ibang research paper. Mas magandang gamitin ito at pinaka-the best siyang gamitin kapag ang gagawin mo ay literature review. Kunyari, magkakaroon ka ng systematic literature review. Gusto mo makita yung mga gaps, yung mga methods based on existing studies. So, pwede mo siyang gawin. Kaya lang meron tong limitation. No? The same with ChatGPT. Ang limitation kasi ng ChatGPT, it doesn't access real-time or peer-reviewed academic sources unless paired with tools like Elicit or Cite. Minsan, nagbibigay si ChatGPT na parang superficial. Kung hindi alam nung researcher kung ano yung hinahanap niya, maaring kuhanin mo na lang ng kuhanin kung ano yung sinasabi niya. But the reality is, ang masusunod pa rin dapat yung researcher. Kung ano yung tinatanong mo doon sa AI, it's only a support. Not exactly what the AI will says, yun yung gagamitin mo. Kasi, I'll repeat, hindi lahat ng sinasabi ni AI ay tama. Ang limitations naman ni Elicit.org is that hindi lahat ng papers ay accessible in full. At saka nagre-rely lang siya sa mga open access databases. So kung magkakaroon ka ng literature review, hindi mo makukuha yung ibang paper. Kasi ang pwede mo lang makuha at ma-access niya at masagot yung tanong mo, depende sa mga open access databases. And commonly, those access na medyo merong bayad, those are quality papers. And the number 3, yung Cite.ai, ano bang ginagawa niya? Nakakapag-provide siya ng smart citation. Instead of just listing references, pinapakita niya kung papaano isa-cite yung paper. Whether it was supported, a challenge, or simply mentioned by others. So, nagagawa niya yon. Paano ba siya nakakatulong? Kasi yung mga evidence-based citation, no, you'll know if a study is widely accepted or it is controversial. Yung citation context mo, particularly it show quotes from the papers that cited it, nakakatulong siya. Kasi it can check the strength of the evidence. Natatrack mo din yung citation. Nakikita mo how influential is the paper that you are using. And then, you can also avoid bad sources kasi it helps you avoid relying on outdated or disproven research. Mas magandang gamitin ito kung gusto mong ma-strengthen yung literature review mo tsaka yung arguments mo sa mga credible and peer-supported resources. Okay? Kaya lang meron siyang limitation. Kasi mga advanced features niya may require a paid subscription. Not all papers may have citation analysis. That's what I have mentioned a while ago. And most quality papers are on a paid subscription. So meaning to say you have to pay so that you can access the journal. Number 4, very common also is Grammarly and Killbot. So ano bang nagagawa nito? Alam niyo to, no? So usually ginagamit niyo siya. Nagagamit siya for writing improvement. Pero hindi siya nakakatulong para they don't help with ideas or sources, but they are very useful when polishing your final thesis. Yung Grammarly, it's for checking your punctuations, your sentence structure, and spelling. Ganon din yung tone. Nagsasuggest siya kung anong tone ng academic writing, pati yung plagiarism detection. So, ito ginagamit ko siya, but I pay. No, I don't use yung mga ibang sites ng Grammarly na for free. No, I see to it na yung ginagamit ko ay really paid kasi na-access ko lahat kung ano yung kailangan. At ginagamit ko ito kapag when I intend to publish paper. It's really very useful. Killbot, I have never experienced this, so it can be used for paraphrasing. We write sentences to avoid plagiarism while keeping the meaning. Pwede rin siyang gamitin sa summarization. Pwede niyang makondense or mapaikli yung mga long text. Usually sa abstract, nagagamit siya. Sa vocabulary enhancement, kasi nagbibigay siya ng mga synonym, nagsasuggest siya ng better clarity. Mas maganda rin ito for final editing at nakakatulong siya na yung paper mo sounds professional and original. Pero meron din siyang limitation. It cannot judge academic content. It can only judge the writing quality. Okay. When using AI in research, paano ba ang dapat gawin ng isang researcher? Start your writing process. So, ano ba yung ibig sabihin ng start your writing process? Getting started is often the hardest part of writing a thesis or research paper. Aminin nyo yan. No? Kapag kayo ay nagsisimula pa lang gumawa ng research paper, you feel overwhelmed by too much information or unsure how to begin. Ang dami mo binasang literature review pero hindi mo alam kung paano mo siya sisimulan. Now, how to do it using an AI? You can use prompts. Ask yourself questions like, what is my research all about? Or what problem am I solving? Tapos, you begin with the working title because this gives you direction. Now, you can use AI like ChatGPT to help you outline the introduction, create structure. Again, disclaimer, you can use AI tools to help you outline the introduction, create structure, or even give a first draft based on your topic. But as I says, you need an assistance or academic support from AI, but the AI will not be the writer of your paper. Or other choice is that you can make your own and then later on you consult AI if what you have done is correct or what is something missing. Okay? Second, clarify your ideas. So what does it mean? Your research ideas may be clear in your mind but it's really very hard to express in writing. So gusto mo ng clarity para makatulong siya maintindihan mo kung ano yung thesis mo. So what you have to do is to break down complex terms or concepts. You can also use simple and direct sentences in early drafts, and you can also ask AI to rephrase or simplify your ideas without losing the academic tone. So, pwedeng gamitin yon, no? Gamit ang AI. Explore angles for your RRL or review of related literature. Ano ba yung ibig sabihin nito? Don't just gather related studies. You have to analyze how they connect to your research. You can explore different angles. It means looking at your topic from various viewpoints. So, how are you going to do it? As I've mentioned kanina, meron tayong mga binigay na AI tools. You can use elicit.org or Google Scholar para makahanap ka ng studies mo. You can group related studies based on themes, methods, or findings, and then you have to identify the gaps. So, pwedeng makatulong din dyan sa AI. Number 4, rephrase confusing parts of your paper. So, what does it mean? Sa academic writing kasi you have to be precise. And if a sentence is too long or vague or filled with jargon, pwedeng ma-confuse mo kasi yung readers. Pwede kang gumamit ng Grammarly o kaya ng Kilbot para ma-polish yung sentence structure mo. You can also ask ChatGPT to rephrase, but you're not going to copy-paste the suggestion. You can only look at what the AI have given you and then try to contemplate, tama ba siya or hindi? And then you can make your own. Okay? So, I want to emphasize, don't rely on it to create full content. Think of it as a research partner, not your thesis ghostwriter. So, I am very clear from the very beginning of my discussion, I am not encouraging you to use AI as your ghostwriter or your writer itself, but you can use AI as a support or a research partner. Now, punta na tayo dito sa risk. Tapos na tayo dun sa help. What are the risks of overusing AI? Okay? One is the plagiarism risk. Turnitin and Chat GPT detectors now flag content that sounds AI written even if you paraphrase. Okay? Even if you paraphrase AI generated content, yung mga tools like Turnitin, makikita niya yan. No? Magiging suspicious yan para sa kanya. This puts your credibility and academic integrity at risk. There are schools who are really very, very strict with the content of your paper. That's why before you have your final defense, dapat iraran mo muna yan sa isang Turnitin software. Ako, experience ko as a writer who publish research, bago tanggapin ng isang journal ang aking papel, meaning tanggapin for review, dinadaan mo na lang yan sa plagiarism checker. Kapagka hindi siya pumasa do'n sa requirement nila, either 15%, 19% similarity, 10% similarity, hindi nila kaagad tatanggapin yung papel. Now, if they are interested, ibabalik nila sa'yo and then you have to work on it. Now, as I mentioned, there are schools even for undergraduate students, they are very strict with plagiarism. Marami na kasi tayong checker ngayon na nakikita niya yung sound or yung tone ng iyong research paper, hindi ikaw yung gumawa kundi isang AI. Second, fake citations or hallucinations. Ito very very critical sa akin 'to, 'no, na nakikita ko 'to at, na-o-observe ko 'to at sinubukan ko na 'to kay ChatGPT. ChatGPT and similar tools may invent authors' names, articles, titles, or DOI. Superficial, hindi siya totoo. Oh, so nung nasubukan ko siya, so what I did, naghihingi ako ng references kay ChatGPT tapos nilalagay ko siya sa Google Scholar pero hindi ko siya makita. So ibig sabihin, these are hallucinated answers by the AI. AI can create citations that look real, but they are totally made up. Wrong authors, wrong titles, wrong DOIs. That's why you cannot find it elsewhere. Always double check your references from reliable sources, like what I have mentioned, Google Scholar. Third, no critical thinking. AI can only provide general info. It won't analyze findings or it won't contextualize results or reflect your personal voice because AI doesn't have an emotion. AI gives general or surface level answers. Hindi niya kayang interpret ang sarili mong data base sa na-experience mo as a researcher at base sa naging findings ng study mo. Pero lahat ng ito ay essential sa isang academic writing. Fourth, academic misconduct. Submitting AI-generated work without disclosure can violate school and journal ethics. So sabi mo may mga ibang schools, pumapayag sila na merong AI. Yes, but again, they have their own policies. Plus, you have to reveal the idea or reflect the idea that you have used AI in any form. So, dapat nilalagay mo yon. Submitting AI written work without citing your use can be as seen as cheating. No? Many schools and journals now require transparency when using AI in research or writing. Pinapalagay nila kung gumamit ka ng AI or hindi. AI cannot defend your thesis during your oral defense and only the researcher can. So, tandaan nyo yan. So, dapat hindi siya yung maging primary writer ng iyong research paper kasi hindi ka naman niya matutulungan kapag nag-defend ka. At mind you, alam na alam ng panel members kung AI generated ang ginawa mo or hindi. Ethical AI use in research. So ano ba yung mga acceptable AI use? Ang CHED or Commission on Higher Education, some universities and journals are now building AI policies. So ano ba yung kailangan i-consider ethically ng isang AI? Sa paggamit ng AI, I mean. These are the acceptable AI use. Generating draft questions. So, pwede kasing makatulong si AI para ma-brainstorm yung mga possible research questions na pwede mong gawin. Yung mga guide questions for interviews or surveys, tapos pwede mo siyang i-refine to fit your study purpose. Ito, ginagamit ko to. Okay, dropping my research questions or guide questions, I'm using it. Rewording or editing your grammar. So, yung mga Grammarly, ginagamit ko rin yan. It can correct your grammar, improve your sentence structure, and make your writing clearer and more professional. Exploring structure or format of RRL or methodology. So, pwede kasing ipakita ni AI yung mga samples, paano ka mag-organize ng RRL. Hindi content, no? Yung samples. So, napaka-acceptable niyan. Yung methodology section mo, paano mo siya gagawin. Maiintindihan mo kasi kung anong kailangan include at saka yung hindi. Paano mo siya format logically, pwede kang tulungan ni AI. And then lastly, checking for clarity and tone. Yung AI can access whether your writing is clear, it's appropriate for academic readers, or it can suggest ways to sound more formal, objective, or even concise depending on the context. Ano naman yung unethical? Letting AI write entire sections of your thesis. This is considered academic dishonesty. So your thesis should reflect your original analysis as a researcher, your interpretation, your understanding. They are not AI-generated content because AI lacks critical thinking and personal insight. Okay, second, using AI to generate fake data or sources. Naku, this is a big no. AI sometimes create non-existent references as I have mentioned a while ago. So, may tinatawag nating AI hallucination. Yung problema sa paggamit ng AI. Nagbibigay siya ng mga falsificated o kaya naman ng mga false or non-existent references. Tapos pangatlo, not acknowledging AI assistance. So, kung gumamit ka ng AI, you have to help write or revise parts of your thesis, it should be disclosed. So, anong part ng thesis mo siya ginamit? Kasi yung pagtatago nito, it can be seen as misinterpretation. Include an AI usage note in your methodology. If you have used it in your methodology, example daw, AI tools such as ChatGPT were used to define or refine question phrasing but did not influence analysis or interpretation. Okay? Another, how to use AI responsibly. First, use AI as a writing assistant, not your main writer. You can use AI with their suggestions, but you have to revise in your own words. Second, always verify AI outputs. If AI gives a citation, check the source manually from Google Scholar and any other sources that you are familiar with. Third, maintain your academic voice. Blend the AI output with your insights, especially in analysis and discussion sections. Kasi yung interpretation nyo and yung critical thinking nyo are what make your paper unique. Use AI to clarify your writing, but your analysis and reflection should come from you, especially if in the discussion and conclusion, your insights, okay, of the study should shine. Fourth, be transparent. If you use AI, mention it. Professors appreciate honesty more than perfection. That is the reality. If you have used AI, then you have to explain in your paper in what context you have used AI.
So now I hope that you learn the hacks on using AI. No? Again, I would like to remind everyone na hindi ghostwriter si AI. Si AI pwedeng makatulong sa atin at napakaswerte nyo sa panahon na ito dahil meron ng ganyan. No? You can your ability to visit locations to locations or sites to sites para makapag-research kayo ay hindi na ganun kahirap. Very accessible na sa inyo ngayon yung data. Pero sana naman researchers, you are given the accessibility of the data ay gamitin natin siya ng tama. Okay? So ito yung mga na-discuss natin na po pwede nyong gawin kapag kayo ay gamit ng AI or artificial intelligence in any form. Okay? So you have to declare it in your research paper as well as you have to assure that it does not affect the results or findings of your study. I hope that you like this lesson video. So please like, share, and subscribe this YouTube channel so that others also can watch this video about the use of AI in doing research. Always remember, we unlock insights to empower your minds. Thanks for watching, everyone. See you on our next lesson video. Bye-bye.